Right guys, I think you can see that we're doing this a little bit differently today. I am in one of these unbelievable defenders, Octa defenders from the Sinclair Group, and I've come to the Sportin offices to pick up our main sports journalist, Rhodri. How's it going, mate? Right?
Yeah, not bad, pal. How are you?
Not too bad.
Lovely set of wheels you got here.
That's not bad, is it? It's not bad.
Unbelievable. Excited for the pod?
Yes, yeah, I was literally about to say, this is Rhodri. Everyone obviously won't know Rhodri because obviously he's behind the scenes, but he's one of our main journalists at Sportin. Looking forward to this?
Oh, mate. Absolutely buzzing.
You obviously, we'll get going because we're obviously on our way to the Sinclair, the Jaguar Land Rover showroom that they've got now in Hadfield Road, which is some setup, isn't it? So we will have a bit of fun there with some guests. So you talk us through who we have on the pod today and what's it about.
Yeah, right. So we've got a Women's Euros special. We've got obviously Wales women at their first ever European Championships this summer. Literally 2 weeks' time. They'll be out in Switzerland playing Netherlands in the first game. And we've got two Wales legends on the pod. Gwennan, Harries, Sherwood, 50 caps each. Unbelievable guests. Should be an amazing record.
There, wouldn't they? They'd probably do more keep-ups between me and you together, wouldn't they?
Oh,
but it should
easy,
be good.
Easy.
It should be a bit of fun. But I think we talk about in the pod how much of an achievement it is, isn't it, for Wales women?
Oh, massive. You know,
we'll have a bit of a boot here. Watch this.
We're yeah, it's a massive achievement for Wales. You know, ranked 30th in the world, only 16 teams there. For Rhian Wilkinson to have only been in the job for just over a year and to qualify Wales for a major tournament at the first time of asking, unbelievable achievement. They're in a group of death. Netherlands, yes. France, England. Right. Toughest group in the tournament by my reckoning, but they're ready to bloody some noses, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they've got England last, that's all I know, and I know for a fact that's going to be the most watched game in the tournament, isn't it? So looking forward to it. Tell everyone what you do for Sportin, mate, because obviously, you know, with the magazine, we've got obviously the sporting side and the business side. Tell everyone a little bit about what you do with the Sportin side. So,
for the podcast, I'm sort of your man in the chair, aren't I?
Behind the chair.
Behind the chair. I sort of edit the magazine, make sure that all our articles are tip top. Yeah. Make sure you get some decent rugby interviews each month. Exciting time to be in sport. We've had a great year, a great season, football and rugby, and mate, I'm all over the summer sports, cricket, summer tours, British and Irish Lions coming up. Busy year. It is go in 2025. We are very excited for what's coming.
But how good is this car, by the way? You know, the Sinclair have been unbelievable.
They're taking such good care of us. They've trusted Alex, most importantly.
Wow, this car. So this is the new Octa. Believe it or not, you know, I obviously look at the information. 635 brake horsepower.
Goodness, mate.
0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, I think.
Oh.
Which is, for how big the car is unbelievably impressive. It looks absolute unreal, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal set of wheels.
So don't expect me to pick you up every time in something like this, okay?
Sportin Wales podcast, powered by Sinclair Group, your go-to for Welsh sports news and views.
Hello and welcome back to the Sportin Wales podcast. Today we have some special guests, and obviously, as you can see, we're not in our usual surroundings. We are in the Sinclair Group's Jaguar Land Rover garage in Cardiff, which is pretty cool. But straight to the guests, we have Gwennan, Harries and Sherwood and Rhodri, our own Sportin Wales journalist. Guys, how are you? Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Yeah, good, thank you.
Excited, yeah.
Rhodri's been buzzing. He's obviously one of our journalists for Sportin Wales, and you're actually a newbie. It's your debut, isn't it? So
debut on the Sporting pod.
Good to get him on.
Very, very pleased to be here.
Obviously, girls, your record speaks for itself. You know, 100 caps between you. Obviously, you're doing a lot of media in the football world. How excited are you for this Euros coming up?
Really excited. I think that realisation that we've actually finally got over the line and qualified for a major tournament. We were in Dublin and that night was incredible, and just so pleased that all these years of sacrifice and the barriers that we've had to come through for this team to finally be the first team to make it is incredible.
Yeah, we'll chat about the that night in Dublin after, because obviously we all want to know what actually happened after the game, not the game itself. So I'm sure it was a good night. Gwennan, obviously you've been busy. How excited are you? Obviously we're coming up. You're going to be out there, aren't you, for the tournament?
Yeah, out with S4C. So hopefully a long stint. Depends on how long Wales are in, but we'll remain positive and stay a long way. I just still can't quite believe it. Like, even you talking about it there now, like asking the question, it still hasn't fully hit home for me. I don't think until I get on the plane, just because of how long, like, as you said there with the journey, the amount of barriers that have been in the way. When we think back to when we were playing, we never ever thought we'd get close. Like, we knew we had good squads, but we just didn't think in terms of infrastructure, all the support available. So that we've finally done it is just unbelievable. Like, genuinely, I got goosebumps thinking about it now.
So even your time, obviously playing for Wales, you never really, you obviously you work and strive to try and get in these tournaments, but you never thought you were ever really going to get into it. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, how big this is for the girls to get in?
Yeah, like, obviously mentality-wise, we always strive to be the best we could be, but juggling work, or, you know, we were students at the time, a lot of us, you know, juggling that with training. We didn't have a S&C program, we didn't have a nutritionist, we didn't have any of that. You have to just sort yourself out. No medical support. So, like, we'd always try and compete, but for us it was just about keeping the score down. Like, when we played, like, the world champions Germany, just a good game for us was keeping the score down as best as possible.
And I think we looked 2005, we were actually pulled out of the tournament because we were spending too much money, and they had to prioritise the men over us. So that money had to go to the men. So, you know, that was a whole qualification that we didn't get to play, got no caps, didn't get any exposure in international football. And 20 years later, you know, we're at our first major tournament.
It's mad. Obviously, Wales qualified 3-2 aggregate win, obviously, over Republic of Ireland in December. Like, Rod, put it into perspective, how big an achievement was that, obviously, to beat Republic? They're obviously ranked a lot higher than Wales.
Massive. Like, Republic of Ireland have been a more established nation than Wales for quite a while now. Wales were underdogs going to Dublin, like 25,000 Irish fans in the crowd. Like, it was a hostile atmosphere. That first half, some of the best football Wales have played just to stay in the game. Yeah. And then to break away with the 2 goals in the second was phenomenal. Like, amazing night. And then hanging on at the end.
We had a little bit of luck.
That was horrible.
We had a bit of luck with it.
It was ridiculous.
Horrible couple of minutes.
Like,
it was 10 minutes. It was actually 10 minutes, like, trying to work on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was probably actually the best thing, because you're working on it. So you had to remain professional, but, like, it was really hard. Like, the mic was down there a lot, I think, nearly screaming.
We were sat in the crowd, with me, Danny Gabardon, Sophie Ingle. We were sat in the crowd with all the Irish fans around us.
I think I might have seen a clip. I think there was a clip.
And I was literally watching through my fingers at this point. And Sophie Ingle was so calm. She was calm as anything. She just had such belief that the team were just going to put their, you know, backs against the wall, defend. And that's exactly what they did.
Fair play.
At what point did Sophie, like, sort of hobble out and join the celebrations?
She did come back to do a little bit of talking with the media after, but then they
dragged her away, I think.
Took her away, and carried her away.
She forgot about her knee, I think. She was just, like, pulling her.
Just the adrenaline, I guess, of you know, on those things. Let's talk about the night out then. How good was it? Like, did you get a chance to go out in Dublin after?
We went to the famous Temple Bar. Yes.
You went there too. Wow, that's a long night. I know.
You got some stories from there anyway.
Well, I've left there. I can't remember what time. I know it was nearly daylight. Anyway.
Well, I felt like I was at a concert, because I'm not Welsh speaking, but most of the team there were, and they just sang Welsh songs the whole time. I had a great time. Yeah. That's
the one thing I know. Obviously, you're beating Ireland, but the Irish would have really probably joined in for the great. It would have been great crack, I'm sure.
Yeah, everyone was joining in. Everyone was Welsh that night, I think, in Temple Bar.
That's fair.
I had FOMO, because it's probably the only. I've worked the women's game since 2014. It's probably the only away trip I've ever missed, because I was recovering from a knee injury, knee surgery, so I couldn't go out. But the players did put money, to be fair, their own money, behind the bar for the fans that had travelled out.
Right, enough obviously stories from Temple Bar, which I'd love to go into more. Let's talk about the Wales squad before we look into further. Obviously, we'll go into them being in the Group D, you know, group of death, as everyone is saying, you know. But the 23 players selected by Rhian Wilkinson, were there any big surprises in that squad announcement for you guys, or?
Not really. I think the two big injuries to Laura O'Sullivan and Maisie Davis have meant that sort of a lot of the 50-50 calls have been made for Rhian. Right. Like, the goalkeeping department is now very inexperienced. So Liv Clark, obviously, number one. and Safia Middleton-Patella's had a couple of goes, but if there was an injury to Liv Clark, that'd be a bit of an issue. But overall, the squad is really experienced. Like, I'm sure you guys can...
I think the big one was whether or not Sophie Ingle would be included in the squad or not. That was just like
Yeah, she's been out for over a year, so...
Yeah,
like...
so that was the big one. And for me, I'm just really happy to see Kaylee Barton in the squad, because I think if we hadn't had those injuries, she could have been a 50-50.
Right, okay.
Because she hasn't featured as much with Wilkinson, but someone who thoroughly deserves an opportunity on this stage, so I'm really happy for her.
It is a hugely experienced squad. I think in the group, the Netherlands are really experienced, so they've got a lot more. But then we're on par with France and England in terms of caps, but obviously just the experience in a major tournament. And I think that's why Ingle's so important, because she's the only one at senior level that's actually been to a major tournament when she represented GB in the Olympics. Not even Jess Fishlock has got that experience. I mean, she's got bags of experience in big games. But
it's different though, isn't it? To tournament football, like it's the same in rugby terms, like playing a World Cup, or it is a lot different to maybe being in the Six Nations or Autumn. It ramps up a lot, doesn't it? So I guess you need that experience. Will she be involved first game, Sophie Ingle, or against the Netherlands? Or?
I don't imagine her starting any game. It's a tough ask. She hasn't played at all, for 9 months. So I think she's probably in the best shape fitness-wise that she's ever been in strength and conditioning. Yeah. But that, compared to match fitness, is so different. And when you then consider you're in a major tournament against a good Netherlands side, I'm not expecting to see her in that first game.
Right. So that Netherlands side are pretty experienced. I guess it's the same team that won it, 8 years ago with...
Yeah, similar.
Near enough, is it?
There's a few, but...
And caps-wise, it's pretty stacked.
Yeah. Sharida Spitzer, the captain, is over 200 caps. Like, she's like
240,
unbelievable player.
200.
Yeah, yeah, ridiculous. But yeah, like I wonder if you guys will agree. I think Rianne was playing a bit of kidology, a bit of mind games at the squad announcement. She's telling stories about Sophie Ingle making her look bad in training and things like that. I wonder if it's a case of trying to boost a bit of fan morale before the tournament, because it was huge to hear, like, even just in the recent camp with the Nations League, to hear that Sophie was training, to have potentially see her in matches is a massive carrot for the fans particularly.
She's obviously good in the environment then.
Big time.
It's not just what she brings on the pitch.
Yeah.
She was former captain of Wales, so that leadership, her experience, her influence around the camp, they're the sorts of people.
Standards and all that, isn't it? Yeah.
In tournament football, you need those sort of people in and around the squad.
Obviously, they've been in pre-training in Portugal. Did you guys get to go?
No. We're both teachers, so we're stuck in school at the minute. Yeah.
Obviously, they've obviously it's preparation, isn't it, for the heat? Because obviously Switzerland's going to be pretty hot in certain areas, and obviously they're playing 3 games in 8 days.
Yeah.
Which is, for me, I find absolutely wild, really. But
it's different though. Like your impact was there more.
Would they be used to? I guess a lot of girls would be used to that.
Yeah, and that's how they play really. Weekend, midweek, weekend again. And in terms of league, I mean, they don't do that every week with the league, but I think that's something that they're fine with. And even when we used to go to tournaments, friendly tournaments, and then the Algarve, you'd play 4 games in 12 days. So they're used to that. It's just the intensity and the expectation now, because obviously the build-up and everything. Yeah. Something they're not used to.
It's an opportunity for them, though, to go away, those distractions away from their family and friends.
Little bubble,
just
isn't
really,
it?
in their little bubble, and just focus on, a huge summer.
Yes, it's exciting. Obviously, Laura O'Sullivan in goal, missing.
It's a big miss.
Is that a big one?
It's under Rianne, Liv Clark's taken the number 1
shot,
she has been
number 1.
Again, Laura would have been more of a dressing room presence, and she's obviously vastly experienced. So.
She's still going to be going and be around the squad as well.
Okay. Obviously, Maisie Davis is obviously missing out as well.
Yeah, that's tough. 18-year-old on quite a rapid rise in her career.
I think it changes dynamics as well for me, because I think Maisie was possibly pushing to start.
Yeah, I agree.
Which has released Hayley Ladd into midfield, and I think Wales have looked really, really strong. She's played really well in that role in the Nations League.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to have to come back into defence, and she's played there for years, hasn't she? But
we lose that quality in midfield, and that calming presence that Ladd brings. So to see her have to go back into that centre back position, I think it definitely does change what could be the starting lineup now.
Yeah, I agree. Ladd's move to Everton was pivotal for her, I think. Playing every week in midfield for Everton, bringing that into the Nations League was massive. And the control that Wales had in those tight matches against Denmark and Sweden particularly, it looked really good. So that's the only real sort of spanner in the works, is whether Ladd goes back into defence or Rhian trusts a new centre half, which is, with the attacks that Wales will face, would be quite a bold move, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah, that's 3 decent teams with good forwards coming at you. So
we've got exciting news. Jaguar Land Rover, Cardiff and Newport are now part of the Sinclair Group. For over 80 years, we've been trusted across Wales, built on family values and driven by expertise. Jaguar and Land Rover represent heritage, innovation and performance, just like us. And we're here to make every journey on and off the road feel extraordinary. Join us for the next chapter and belong for good. Sinclair Jaguar Land Rover, Cardiff and Newport. The extraordinary journey continues. Welcome to the family.
This summer, history is being made. Wales are heading to their first ever major women's football tournament, and S4C is bringing you every moment live. That's right, S4C will show every match of Wales' UEFA Women's Euro 2025 campaign, starting with their group stage debut against the Netherlands. Catch all action live on S4C and S4C Click on Saturday the 5th of July at 5 p.m. Don't miss the historic moment for Welsh football. Who are the girls that who would be, obviously more the spine of the squad that they're going to have to play well, really, that will rely on obviously Josh Fishock up front.
Oh, big time.
Captain Garrett, and like those sort of players, I guess.
Yeah, so there's 4 Centurions in the squad, massively experienced. Sophie Ingle, Jess Fishlott, skipper Angharad James, and Hayley Ladd. Putting Sophie aside slightly because we're not sure how many minutes she'll play, those 3 will play every minute of every game, you'd expect.
Yeah, I think, Gemma Evans, Hayley Ladd played every minute of the Nations League campaign, and they've been playing centre-half partnership together, but in recent times, but Hayley pushed into midfield. But yeah, they're down the spine.
I think the big question is where Kerry Holland is going to play, and I think she's been Wales' most consistent performer, especially in the Nations League. We've seen her at right wing back, we've seen her in that Wales play a box midfield as one of those number 10s. Gwen might disagree, but I think we need her in that right wing back role. Because of her engine, her athletic ability.
Will they change it, obviously, who they're playing, I guess? The way
that could.
Yeah, and I think that's the important point, because I was in a coaching conference and Wilkinson was talking, actually, and she said about why she didn't pick her for the actual Ireland away game, because she's one of the vice-captains, Kerry Holland, so everybody was so surprised when she wasn't in the starting lineup for that.
Yeah, it was a big talking point, because Josie Green played that position, didn't she?
Yeah, and when you looked at the analysis, it was because Kerry Holland obviously offers a lot both ways, but her maybe defensive discipline in terms of positioning wasn't quite what Josie Green would give.
So she's going to think about that, maybe especially against like Netherlands or France.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty attacking.
But I think she's got to be involved somewhere, just the intensity she brings. But it might not be in that, with such a defensive burden on her then, if that makes sense.
Yeah, with the role she plays at Liverpool, she could do one of those front 3 roles quite easily. Yeah.
Well, she's probably been our most exciting attacking play, I'd say, the way she's taken people.
And her contribution in terms of goals and creating goals, her stats got to be right up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, any players do you reckon in the squad that would take the step up and be a bit of a star of the tournament, or someone like, wow, fair play, you've had unbelievable couple of games?
I think Carrie Jones, I'd love to see, she's a rising star for Wales. She came onto the scene really early, had a lot of spotlight on her, hasn't been selected as much and had minutes probably that she would want, but she's definitely one of the rising stars in this squad. So, for her ability to be showcased at this tournament, I really want to see her really shine.
Rod, you probably have a feeling.
Yeah, I think there's a few inexperienced defences. I know, Wales are up against it in this group, but you look at particularly the French defence without Wendy Renard. I'd love to see Hannah Kane play and start all 3 matches. She's a bit of a difference maker for Wales.
Where would you play her? Because there's a lot of discussion about that, whether she plays the main, like, number 9, or whether you play her off.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I think in a counter-attacking situation, you can play her through the middle. The only problem there is how you're going to...
You need to get players around her.
Yeah, you need to players around her, and that would be a test for someone like Jess, particularly the fitness to get up and down all the time.
Yeah,
I think she's best off a striker.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Who would you play?
I'd go with Elise myself. I just think you need a. I've played along that front line and had to do the graveyard shift, as we used to call it. Like, because when you don't
just
receive,
run.
when you don't receive the ball, you are just,
And that's the thing, because the way Wales are going to be playing, we're not going to see lots of possession.
No.
So that number 9 role isn't necessarily going to be the role that we see Hannah Kane in at the domestic level.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's definitely, I think, for me, an impact player to come on to try and stretch teams once we've grown into the game.
Yeah. Do you think Wales would be a bit of obviously quite deep early on, and then counter-attack sort of thing?
In a medium to low block.
Yeah. You're not going to get. It's not the possession-wise. Wales aren't going to have.
I just think it plays
to
to our strengths as well. Like, we are better. We've got a lot of forwards that are quite similar, like pacey, tricky forwards. Fia Morgan as well, Hannah Kane, Carrie, Rachel Rowe. Like, they're all quite similar, aren't they? But they're not maybe as good with their back to goal, and that's where I think Elise just brings. When she's played in a couple of the games, Nations League, I think we've looked at different sides because she's given us a platform to play off. Yeah. And you're going to have her. Yeah.
Will there be much rotation then, or not? 3 games. Probably not, though, will it?
I think because momentum is so key, 3 games in 8 days, I expect Rhiannon to tweak things tactically, so 1 or 2 a game, but really, you need your best team out on the park.
All focus on Netherlands, isn't it? You start with a draw or something in the first game. It's psychologically,
we'd be buzzing with a draw.
It's massive, isn't it?
It's huge. I think for all teams, that first game is so important, but for us, probably the Netherlands is the best game for us. I think our best opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the best order? Is it England up front first?
I like having England last, I think, because
we could get in, we could absolutely hammer them all week.
Really rattle them and maybe mess things up for them, depending on how our first 2 games go.
I just laugh because I think everyone thinks the Netherlands game is like the not easy game, but the easier game. And obviously, we want to be positive and think that we can go there and do something. And the girls will think that, but I think people forget they haven't lost a group game in a major tournament since 2015. Like, they are not as easy as people think. Like, and then we've got England in the group that have won every single group game for like 15 games or something. It's a European record. Every single one of those group games is really, really difficult. Like, we are generally in group.
Check the French in with their potent attack and pace they have.
That would be probably more of a defensive game for Wales, I guess. Probably trying to stop them, is it?
And we've played France 2 games in the last couple of years, haven't we? And we've done well against them. But like I say, tournament football is completely different.
Sinclair Group has been part of the motor industry for over 80 years. That's not just a number, it's generations of trust built on shared values, because family isn't just who you're born to, it's who you choose to stand with, and that's what matters to us. We offer new and approved used vehicle sales and service for some of the world's biggest motor brands, and trust, that's at the heart of it all. So whether you're starting your journey or continuing a legacy, visit sinclairgroup.co.uk. Belong for good.
This summer, history is being made. Wales are heading to their first ever UEFA Women's Euros, and S4C is bringing you every moment live, starting with their group stage debut against the Netherlands. Catch all the action live on S4C and S4C Click on Saturday, the 5th of July at 5 p.m. Don't miss this historic moment in Welsh football. Let's go to Group D, because obviously it's typical Wales a group of death. It seems to be nearly every World Cup, whether it's football, rugby or whatever. If you look at stats, Wales are ranked 30th in the world. They're the lowest, obviously, in the tournament. There are 20 teams in the EU above them in the ranking, obviously top 16 teams. So to put it in perspective, they have done unbelievably well to get in the tournament, haven't they? And I think that's no understatement.
Big time.
Like, to be against England, France, Netherlands, obviously England won it 4 years ago, Netherlands won it 4 years before that. This is a proper group, isn't it?
Yeah, I think everyone sort of wanted to be in Group A because of the strength of Switzerland, and then being the hosts and being top seeds. You've then got England, Germany and Spain in the other group. So there's a lot of that kind of quality teams, France and Netherlands in particular, who are kind of gutted that they're in this position, let alone Wales. So yeah, there are some kind of softer groups than Group D. Like, I mean, it will be interesting almost to see how the opposition approach Wales, because like we mentioned, it's
the unknown, mate. They won't have a clue.
Well, exactly. Three games in 8 days. At some point, there are some players, particularly on England's side, who have played a lot of football. You know, France as well, getting to Champions League semi-finals with Lyon, etc.
What are you trying to say? They're going to beat England?
I'm trying to say that they might rotate.
I would love it
and
if
therefore,
they just disrupt, and
therefore Wales have got a chance. Like, I'm going as a fan to the first two, Netherlands and France, and like we mentioned, a draw in either of those games, or even better, spoiling England's party, would be amazing. Like that's how difficult this task is.
And I think you look at the Nations League, the results we had there, you know, the draws against Sweden.
Yeah.
We are now being able to challenge with these top teams. Okay, our last game against Italy, we don't really want to talk about that.
No, we've forgotten that. That's in the bin already.
It was a rotation.
I think
game,
we already had one eye on the tournament, but we are now starting to close the gap a little bit with these top teams.
Yeah.
And if every player turns up and we have, 8, 9 out of 10 performances, we can go and nick it, because we have seen we can score goals on the counter.
And can defend as well.
Yeah, and what was impressive in the Nations League, like we had spells that we kept conceding within the first 15 minutes of games or the start of the second half, and that was like an issue. But we'd always build back into it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Whereas we've not seen that before, so they've got like a real, I don't know, like a real
bit more of a
fight.
belief, I think, under Wilkinson, that actually, we are closing the gap. We're not quite there yet to be a top nation. We need to score more goals. That is the next step for us. But we are making progress.
Yeah, let's get obviously Netherlands first. What are we expecting from them? Obviously, the name their players are pretty strong.
Yeah,
team.
we were talking before.
Experience.
To me, it's the midfield for Netherlands. They have. I'll read you the list of names here: Danielle van der Donk, Vika Kaptein, Jackie Gwennan, Vicky Belova, Damaris Egarola, and Jill Roord, all just for like three.
I just said.
All for three positions in the midfield.
These are all top teams, aren't they?
We're talking Champions League knockout stage.
Yeah.
Did you mention Miedema?
Miedema's going to be up front. WSL all-time top
Bernstein
scorer up front.
But do they have a defence, Rod?
That is the question. Really,
I would say
Can we score against
all three teams that we're coming up against, the defence is the weakness.
yes, big time.
Definitely. And like the Netherlands like to bomb their fullbacks. They've got like really attacking fullbacks on. So that would play into our strength. And when we've got a lot of tricky wingers, pacey wingers, it's just playing the tactics right.
Yeah. It's just getting chances.
It's risk versus reward, right? We talked
That's
about
why I spoke about it. Do you sit back
Holland.
or do you... Go on then, let's have a
Because
crack,
say against Netherlands, they play Barcelona at Esme Brugge at a left back. You play Kerry Holland at right wing, but that is a contest on that side.
What a battle.
That Kerry had the beating of her, because she's a winger by trade, playing at left back. She's in teams that like to dominate the ball, and if we put a few in behind her, let's see what she's got. Like Wales have to play a little bit rope-a-dope here and pick their battles, and particularly Netherlands, the defence is the weak point. So
it's just boxing clever, isn't it?
That's the way to go.
And it's just when we do create opportunities, it's just we've got to be clinical, because the chances are not going to be a great number of chances. So,
No. Well, that's international football, isn't it? You have to take, and that's when you've got someone like Miedema who's got. You're the stat man, yeah.
How many goals, man?
She's got a lot of
100 goals in WSL.
She's the all-time top goal
She's the
scorer for the
all-time
WSL.
top goal scorer in the WSL.
I think she's about.
So she can find that
normally,
net,
you say like 1 to 3 at international level is like good going. 1 to 2 is exceptional. I think she's like 2 and 3. Like she's.
Wow.
You said 1 to 3 because that's your record at international level, right?
See, if we had Gwen
Yes.
as number 9
I
for
don't know.
Wales, then it'd be a different story.
16 goals in 18 goals.
18
in 56.
Gwen
Not
and
bad.
Helen
Choices.
Ward.
I was more of a winger as
front
well.
two.
You got more tries than me, so
Yeah.
goals and tries. Isn't it?
That was a long time ago. But she is an unbelievable finisher. Like one chance and she'll bury it. Because we have to be the same.
Would she'd be obviously one of the players to probably look out for
Big time,
tournament-wise,
big
I
time.
guess.
If she starts, she's
But
had a
again,
lot of
she's
injuries.
coming back from
Injuries.
injury too.
Right.
She's had a funny season with Man City, because it was a massive signing moving from Arsenal to Man City. Don't get many big interleague moves. And then Gareth Taylor plays her in midfield, and it works out for quite a while, but she's coming off a massive ACL injury where she missed over a year. So, yeah, she's not on top form, which is, like, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like,
Well, if she's not playing, they got
ready to
Bernstein, she's
explode.
good as well. Like, she's got a good record. And then her coming off the bench, like, that's quite scary.
What are the Dutch girls like? Are they quite arrogant? Like Dutch guys we used to play with, like some
Well, the previous
like
winners.
They are so.
Previous winners,
Yeah.
So they fancy themselves, right? Okay.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, come on, we'll have them.
Yeah, easy.
All right, we got France obviously as well. They're ranked 10th in the world. Got semi-finals 4 years ago, or in 2022 actually. They're pretty good. Their attack is lethal, and some of the players, and obviously I've looked on online, they're they're a pretty good side, aren't they?
They're just full of pace,
Just
intensity,
rapid.
goals.
But they're French. So are they like French in terms of rugby? You know, do they travel away?
Well, they're not travelling far, are they?
Well, I know, but
No, they are.
in rugby, you always say French teams never travel. So we used to always love playing them at home, but away they're really tough.
They are the cliche, I think.
Right,
like
okay,
their squad,
yeah. I was
for
gonna
what
say, I
their
didn't
squad
want it.
is, and like you were mentioning, like the Champions League, like the amount of times Lyon have won it, or like PSG have been there, they've really underachieved because they've never won a major tournament, and they just seem to choke at certain points. So how they go in that first game against England, because they've played each other recently, one win each, that'll be really interesting, I think.
Do you expect them to qualify with England, or is that a real?
I think
That'd be
they
a
are
hell
the
of a
two
game, wouldn't it?
favourites to qualify from the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
One big team, no,
What?
two big teams, because Wales are two big teams. If they don't get through, will
They'll
be
go
going
far,
out.
will they?
There's
Yeah.
two big teams, like, you know.
So they're a team to avoid.
We'll
I
talk
guess.
about the overall tournament a little bit later, but
Yeah.
I sort of put England and France in the potential winners category, whereas I think Netherlands could easily beat either of them. It's just whether they've got
consistency,
got the level to go over 6 games to win sort of every game.
Right, so we're saying France are good.
Yeah, but again,
They're not bad,
like we
they're
mentioned,
decent.
like the defense.
middle game's
the
always an
defense
odd
is an
one.
interesting one. Like I said, Wendy Renard's not there for the first time in
That was
Yeah,
How
that's
long?
That's
Like,
a huge.
She's,
Huge
you know,
loss.
Al, she's Lyon captain, has won like 5+ Champions Leagues.
Yeah,
She's
they're more Barcelona.
she's like the talisman of French football, and she's not going to be there. And they've got a new captain, Greg and Bock, and
I think
like
their
we said,
togetherness has always been
yeah.
a bit questionable.
Right.
That's
They're
something that
quite
we could.
individual. I
Yeah.
guess,
it's born out of it, in the French league, Lyon and PSG, massive rivals, but they also provide a lot of the national team. So when you get in camp, you suddenly have to turn from rivals into best mates. It's quite difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I think that's why he might have made the decision though, because he's left one of the main forwards out, Lissamay, that you'd never expect.
Yeah, big
she's
time.
quality.
So I
Under
think he's
Kappa.
maybe gone for that because they've obviously never fully achieved what they should or reached their
So
potential.
he's trying to
he's-
maybe clear out what.
Few
I think
personality
so,
Yeah, maybe-
problems.
which is interesting because they might react really well to that. Then they might react badly to it, but actually in terms of cohesion, they might.
Because sometimes,
react better.
younger players can be maybe a bit intimidated by older ones. That sometimes can work. So
That was
they-
me with Katie, to be honest.
You told me I was your role
I
model.
wouldn't
You're
joke.
lying
She was. She
now.
actually was. When I first went into Cardiff City and then with Wales, I was like in awe of her.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
you
and
did
she
it.
looked after me. To
Pay
be
you
fair,
later.
Enjoy that. Right, last one, England, obviously. They're a pretty good team, aren't they? Obviously won it 4 years ago, final World Cup 2 years ago. But quite a few big names not in the squad or retiring. Is they a bit in chaos, or is that
I'm-
a bit odd, isn't it?
I'm going to play
Retiring?
Mr. Positive again because they're missing like over 200 caps in a week left the squad. So
Any reason why? Why
yeah,
they just?
we can talk a little bit about it. But so Mary Earps retired sort of out of the blue, and then
Well, she's a celebrity now, and she's probably on Celebrity Army. Get me out.
sort of people put 2 and 2 together and probably realised that Hannah Hampton, Chelsea's goalkeeper, has probably been told by Serena Wiegman that she'll be the number 1. Mary Earps, obviously an icon of women's football, has won.
Didn't want to be seen as number 2, or wanted
think-
to retire on
I
her
think
terms.
And
That's
people
the
have looked at it
theory.
2 ways, haven't they?
you were a
Saying-
teammate, weren't you, at Bristol?
No, I'd already left.
Oh,
Then.
okay. I
Like,
think you might know
a
it a
lot
bit
of people
better.
have said it's selfish that she's left. And then other people have said she's really brave and courageous for taking time away for her own mental
absolutely.
health.
It's definitely. She was definitely going to go, wasn't she?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
She
So-
just wouldn't have been number 1.
She's sort of
And it-
decided, I guess,
and as
to
a
go out on her
goalkeeper,
terms.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you're either going to play every minute or you're not going to play any at all unless there's an injury.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's something else, just like because you never know, do you? You
No,
don't know
you
what's
don't
happening.
know.
You don't know if there's personal things behind.
But it's a bit. It's
It
obviously.
was a
big
huge,
miss.
it was a
Last
huge
week.
So
She
she
surprise.
would have been pretty central in that
Yeah.
off the field.
In
I
the
guess,
leadership
like you
group,
say.
big time, yeah.
She's a real character as well.
Yeah, well, you see it on
Yeah.
when she won.
It was
Sports
a
Personality.
huge surprise. I think it came as a surprise to the players as well themselves.
Yeah.
So that threw them
Yeah,
a
it'd be
little
interesting how
bit.
they take that, isn't it? Obviously, Fran Kirby is
Yeah,
as well. She was a bit on the outside. Isn't it?
Fran's one of those where she's 100 caps. She's been arguably one of England's best sort of 2 or 3 players of the last decade.
Yeah.
But she's at the back end of her career, and I think it was more of a sporting decision where Wiegman told her that she wasn't gonna make the squad, and I think she said in her statement she'd already planned to retire.
Gave her the respect, I guess, which is good, isn't it?
After the tournament, so that one was less shocking, albeit it came like 2 days after the Mary Earps news, so it was all like compounded on each other.
That was a bit like what Gats did with Alan Wynne-Jones, phoning him up. You're not in the squad, right? Retire.
Yeah. That was right after Tipuric as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. He rang up like good 4 or 5 of us and was like, "Yeah, we're not picking you. Do you want to retire or not get picked?"
We say
so
us.
like, right.
What was it like being on the end of the phone then?
Well, I wasn't. I got injured, so I retired myself pretty much. Yeah. Obviously, then Millie Bright as well, not in the squad, said she's too tired.
That was the biggest
She's
shock
had an operation though. Since
that came out after, didn't it? That she's had an operation.
On a clear out.
Yeah, like not a major one, but a smaller one. So I don't know if like fitness wise she's quite there. Did she need that
before she went to the Euros? Is she decided to have that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
To me, she's the biggest loss.
Yeah, but she's pretty central in the back.
She's captain England this year. Yeah, she's vice captain to Leah Williamson. Williamson has had a lot of injury issues over the last 2 years. Bright would have probably started at least the knockouts. Yeah. Injury permitting. It's a big loss.
Right, but they've got a very strong side, haven't they? A lot of WSL.
Yeah.
Arsenal winning the Champions League is pretty big, isn't it?
Their talent pool that they get to pick from is massive.
It's massive.
And I think the young player who's come in,
Ajamang.
Yeah.
She had a goal on her debut.
Yeah. She scored this unbelievable goal on her debut in the Nations League. This kind of catapulted her ahead of Kirby and Nikita Paris. And
I think it's good having players like that in the squad though, like just youngsters, no fear.
They have a wild card.
Yeah, they're not afraid. Nothing to lose, are they? So they just come in, they take people on. Whereas when you're a bit more experienced, you worry a little bit more.
And they're a bit more unpredictable. We would have. You said we know a lot more about Frank Kirby, don't we?
Yeah, big
time.
These ones
about this up-and-coming youngster.
Sinclair Group has been part of the motor industry for over 80 years. And in that time, we've learned it's not just about cars. It's about the impact we leave behind. We believe in driving change, supporting the people around us where we live and work. Because when our communities thrive, we all do. We offer new and approved used vehicle sales and service for some of the world's biggest motor brands. But what drives us goes far beyond the road. So whether you're starting your journey or continuing your legacy, visit sinclairgroup.co.uk. Belong for good.
Who are England's main players then? Russo?
Yeah, it's the attack, I'd say. Like
Mead
has had an unbelievable Champions League, unbelievable end to the season. Russo as well, but Hemp and Lauren Hemp and Lauren James, if they're fit, they could be the best players in the tournament.
Like Lauren James, she's pretty good.
She's unbelievable, but she's missed a lot of the season for Chelsea. She was touch and go to make the squad.
Yeah, she hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
I've seen her on the advert the other day, actually. I think it was like Walkers, was there? With Messi. She doesn't say much, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, she's quiet. Her and her brother Reece, they're quiet. They do their talking on the pitch.
I'd say she got a fair whack for that, I'll be honest, because it's a pretty good sponsor.
She's had a few, I think. I think she had a few, like Pepsi runs. And
I think she in the World Cup, she was just unreal.
She was.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
But for me...
She got red then, didn't she? Remember she got that red card?
Yeah.
She's
for me, the biggest player for England is Kira Walsh. Everything runs through her.
Right.
She's a defensive midfielder. She's very, very technical. Just sees the game before anybody else. Everything will go through her. The pace of the team.
She's England's main player.
And when England have struggled, it's because teams like Spain give them a tough time in the World Cup because Spain basically isolated her out of the game.
Yeah.
So, yes, what teams can do around her really, because she is a very good player.
Interesting to see what, I guess, they've counteracted with. Obviously, they know that's going to happen against the top sides. Who else is going to probably come in or take? Who would step up then if she's the one that they're all sort of trying to stop?
Ella Toon as well in front of her.
Yeah, George Stanway.
Stanway as well.
He's obviously going to have a different game plan when they say, if they do get through and they play Spain again.
I think that's what Wiegman's brought to them, is like just a difference tactically, that they've got to work things out. So she'll help them. Because like as a manager, not that I'm a manager, but apart from school kids, I'm not sure about that. My school teams, that's a different level. But like you set them up, don't you? But then when you're on the pitch, it's up to them as well. So you can tweak things, but you've got to be able to work it out yourself. And I think they've developed
very adaptable, isn't she? And
yeah,
she's
and
not afraid to change things.
Yeah, I think everyone around her, like Williamson, and then just working out, right, if that's not working, if the ball into her isn't working, we've got to go over that press, or we've got to
Is she that good then? Is she? Because obviously she was touted to be like winning a men's job as well, isn't she? Wow.
Well, she won in 2017 with the Netherlands.
She's unbeaten in the Euros.
She obviously won it last year. She wins it
Yeah.
this year that she's done the treble.
Wow. And obviously the World Cup final as well. It's they bottled it, didn't they? But I didn't say that. So she's pretty good then, I guess. Right.
I think the interesting one with Kira Walsh is a lot, like you said, Spain kind of smothered her with their press. A lot of teams try and man mark her out of the game. If you could, I don't know.
She picks the
can you
second ball
afford to
up
lose
on
someone like Angharad James by sort of chasing shadows? Or will Wales have to do
Harries
it
is a bit too
collectively?
deep from that. Someone that would do that job very well is Kerry Holland.
Yeah.
Because she is intense and she presses with such intensity. Like, she's physical.
It's the last game, take a yellow or two.
Oh, they'd all take a yellow.
I tell you who
for
would
that.
actually love that role is Rachel Rome.
Yeah,
she was.
I don't know if she's quite disciplined enough to do that defensively, but you wouldn't want to be chased around by Rachel Rowe for 90 minutes, would you? Absolutely not. She's a little terrier.
All right, we'll go to some general thoughts of the tournament. Who are your favourites to win the Euros this year?
Spain and Germany.
Spain and Germany?
Yeah.
You've got to pick one, because I'm whichever one you don't pick, I'm having.
Spain then, Spain.
Spain. Again,
I'm going to say Germany, just their dominance previous.
Yeah. We have to pick someone
German
slightly.
consistency, isn't it? It's just always good at everything.
We have to pick someone slightly left field then.
You're not-
We can't pick England. I quite like the look of France. Like, I know we've talked about their defence.
Depends
but
how they go
have a
with
lot,
their older players.
That
leaving.
attack are all in sort of peak age. Sandy Baltimore off an unbelievable season with Chelsea. Diani, incredible player. Katoto, if she's on it, is maybe the best in the world.
Yeah.
If it can click, which is a big if, they could do it. But I still think Spain and Germany are the...
It's exciting because there's
slightly
only
ahead of the
16
rest.
teams. It's like only the third time there's ever been 16 teams. Because when it started, it was 4 in like the 80s.
Yeah.
So
4.
yeah,
4 teams.
First
in the 80s.
First Euros, 4 teams.
It's
Men's and
mad how
women's.
much
I don't know
come on,
why.
isn't it?
Like,
Oh, it's come on so much. But like the 16 are good, strong teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got like four really good, strong
Poland
teams.
are
So
new into the tournament as well, aren't they?
yeah.
I wanted to ask, obviously England winning the Euros 4 years ago. How much did that do for Wales women football? I know it's obviously England winning, but it's just the, people from Wales, girls from Wales would have seen that and be like,
Oh, loads.
Yeah,
More than you think, or not?
I
I'm not
sat at
really.
home
So I was
watching the
intrigued.
Euros with my children, my son who's 9, and he knows. He at the time he knew all the England players' names because he was watching.
Yeah.
We want to create that this summer with our own Welsh players.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
it definitely had an impact in England. I'm not sure that the massive impact we would have had in Wales, but definitely.
I think, as a teacher, secondary school PE teacher, like seeing the difference, just the interest in the amount of girls coming up now, and that have had experiences as well. And I think their success since the 2015 World Cup, where they lost just in the semi-final, they won the 3rd place.
Yeah.
Like, they've consistently then reached semi-finals and finals of tournaments. And obviously that being highlighted, that visibility comes across to our players. Most of our players, well, majority of them, play in the English leagues as well. So having that come through.
Well, it's on Sky every week, so I'm guessing a lot, even Welsh girls, going to be fans of Man City or Arsenal.
Oh, they are.
Oh, yeah.
Or Aston. It was some top sides, isn't there? So, yeah, it would have been. I was just wondering because obviously 2003 when England won the World Cup, all I loved was Johnny Wilson. But if I told that anyone now, I'd probably get murdered for it. Wouldn't I?
I think there's a lot of people like that mine as well. But,
Yeah, exactly.
but no, I personally think that it's had a huge effect, just in terms of interest.
Yeah.
So then the FEW have worked really well, to be fair. Like the amount of participation, people participating now, women and girls, we've got has gone through the roof. And that's come from the Welsh success as well, of being close to qualifying.
Yeah, and obviously the men's team as well doing all right as well.
And we look at the domestic league in Wales. Our international players, they don't play in that league.
No.
The Adran Premier. Some of the teams now are semi-professional.
Yeah.
So we are making steps forward within that league as
Well,
well.
that's a big difference.
And a lot of our young talent who are in the
Staying in Wales,
pathways for
aren't
FAW, they start in this league.
Yeah.
So, things are going in the right direction.
What was the game down in West Wales where there were horses running around?
That was
remember
against
that.
Germany.
Was it?
That was, yeah.
Katie was woman marking,
Yeah.
the best player in the world.
Yeah, she scored hat-tricks.
The
That's not
top
so-
goal scorer in
Was she
the
good?
Euros.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Top goal scorer in the Euros, like in history.
Scary
Yeah.
good luck.
And then she didn't even get her shirt because somebody got in front of her. It was fuming
A
for her.
sub got on and got a shirt. I didn't have to
that's
get over that.
fuming.
Yeah.
Gutted.
I touched the ball like twice that game.
You'd have to DM her and be like, can you send me one jerseys?
We must have had about 50 people there watching as well. If that, do you think?
If that. And I think one was a school that they'd gone into like in
Can
the
you come
morning. Like,
watch?
can you come and... Yeah, exactly. And
There was a horse in the background of the game. It was like...
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember walking
That'd go
off.
viral right now, wouldn't it, if we did that?
There's a few clips of it gone round because we played Germany last
The
year.
kids
Yeah,
is
yeah,
absolutely
in the
massive
Nations
on
League.
us.
I can remember walking off at half-time. We were 3-0 down. We thought, we're doing quite well here because they were world champions and they were just qualifying for the next, or just about to be world champions back-to-back. We were like 3-0 down. And you're walking off. Do you remember the guy? He was on the tannoy and he was like, the score at half-time is Wales 0, Germany 3. Anyway, the raffle winner is... oh, my God. And you think the Germans probably thinking, what is going on?
They would have been turning out thinking, well, not even in the changing room probably.
We had a great time. We went back to Germany, didn't we?
No, we had
that was insane because we haven't played in front of a crowd like that before with Wales.
A full crowd. I think it was their goalkeeper and it was the last game. She won 100 caps. So it was a sellout. And we didn't get in there half much. But when we did, remember, Jess?
Yeah,
we won a corner.
Yeah.
And they started clapping. So Jess was loving it. So Jess was like clapping as well because she was just
corner.
corner.
That's how minnows
That's how
we
far
were.
the game has come.
That's what I'm saying. This massive now, isn't it, to qualify for that? Go back to a top scorer. Who do we?
I like Toto at France. I think with the defences that we mentioned in this group.
Even in that group, you think?
Yeah.
You think it's probably going to be from this group?
She's deadly. There's a lot of... I'll let the others discuss the rest of them. But,
I think England are going to be there or thereabouts. I would say Beth Mead's got to be...
They scored a hell of a lot last time, didn't they, in the
there.
group?
Got to be in the mix.
I'm going to go for Pina from Spain. Yeah. She's in good form. Like, she scored 2 against England of late. And then if it's not her, Russo, I'd go for Overmead.
Right. Player of the tournament? Who's that? Could be a fair few.
I like Alexia Putellas. Like, a lot of chat about Bonmati in the last couple of years, but I think her season for Barcelona has been unbelievable. She'll be a massive part of that Spain side that are definitely favourites for the
tournament. Well, we can look back in, 4 weeks' time?
Easy.
Come back.
I would have said Bonmati.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go Spanish as well, but I'm going to go different from those two because they get all the attention in the midfield. Okay. The other one in the midfield, Patry, I think she's unbelievable. She's so underrated because those two, Putellas and Bonmati, get all the attention. Patry...
Well, hopefully it's someone from Wales and we qualify and they get through. But guys, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy it. Obviously, with SLC, obviously you're doing one game, the first one in the Netherlands with the BBC. Yeah. So enjoy that train trip down to there. But thanks for joining. I appreciate coming out. You've been teaching all day, but hopefully Wales have a good stint, and I'm very much looking forward to watching it. So thanks for joining. Cheers, guys.
Sportin Wales podcast, powered by Sinclair Group. Your go-to for Welsh sports news and views.